On the first day of Christmas, me true love gave to me. Absolutely bugger all. She hates me. I'll be surprised if she's still with me come end of year. Hello everybody and welcome to day one of the 12 days of Christmas here on the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. Now listen, yesterday I got a question asked in comments. They said, Santa, we only ever see your top half. What do you wear on bottom half? I'll tell you, absolutely bugger all. How's about that then? Anyway, day one of the 12 days of Christmas giveaway. What are we giving away today, Santa? Well, I'll tell you. Thanks to our partners, the Discount Sports Network. In fact, before we get into telling you what the present is today, just let me show you how easy and amazing it is to be part of the Discount Sports Network, right? So hey up, right, I'm thinking of getting Chris some up for his Christmas. I know he wants some new Adidas sliders. He looks well fit in them. Anyway, I thought I'd treat him to a pair. And thanks to the Discount Sports Network, I can get a little bit of discount on them. Hey up, so here I am in the Discount Sports Network app. All I'm going to do, scroll down to premium discounts. I'm going to scroll across for the company that I want. Where are we now? Adidas. Some cracking discounts here already I can see. Velo Skin, Nike, Exposure Lights, Chain Reaction, Alpha, Adidas. There we go. I'm going to follow that. 20% off all in-app purchases. They're kidding me. I can get 20% off. Redeem that bad boy. There's my code. Copy code. Go to website. Adidas. He ain't having no Yeezys. I know that. So we're going to go into search bar. Go to shoes. Sandals. Hey up. These look nice. I wonder if they do them in pink. He loves a bit of pink. Oh, these are nice. Look at them. Fancy. Let's get him a pair of nines. Add it to bag. View the bag. And there we go, in the checkout. New pair of sliders. Hit that checkout. Promo code. Now if we've copied it, we should be able to just paste it in there. App 20. Apply. They're kidding me. 20% discount, down from £18 to £14.40. For what? For $17.99 a month. If you want those kind of discounts, follow the link down in the description. Sign up to a year worth of discounts with the Discount Sports Network. That can't go wrong. But Santa, again, we didn't ask about that. We just wanted to know what gift you're giving away. All right, I'll tell there. We're giving away a year's supply of Peloton sun cream. They wait. They're right. Chris could have done with this when he was in Alps with old Cameron Jeffers, when he spent 7 hours in sunshine with zero sun protection on. Absolute knobhead. Peloton offer high-performance sun protection for athletes from sunrise to sunset. Peloton is trusted at a world tour level and by Olympic champions, and their once-a-day sun protection is available in a handy 200mm spray for simple and effective application. Hey, can I just say though, even if that doesn't get this as a gift, if you're a premium member at the Discount Sports Network, you can get 20% off all year round at Peloton. That's a gift in itself, isn't it? So make sure, if you've not done already, follow the link down in the description. $17.99 a month. Listen, they're going to get sick of me saying it, so just go and do it. All right? They're going to save more than $17.99 over a course of a year when they buy the bike bits, as well as your other stuff for other sports. It really is a no-brainer. But anyway, let's get on with the news show. I've taken up far too much of your time already. Here's your host, the wonderful, the beautiful, the very charismatic. It's Chris Pritchard, isn't it? Sit there.
So there we go, Santa's kicking off 12 days of Christmas with a year's supply of Peloton. Don't forget, if you want to stand a chance of receiving that gift from Santa, got to be following Peloton over on the Instagrams as well as Discount Sports Network. It's as simple as that. Oh, and of course, leave your comments down below because that's how we get the winner. Leave your comments down below. If you don't want to be entered into it, just simply write on the end of your comment, I don't want oat. Oat is spelled O-W-T. All right? If Santa pulls that out of his sack and he sees it, he's going to pop it back in his sack and we'll pick another winner. But who don't want to be involved in that apart from Lord the Lego? I don't know. Anyway, let's get on with part 2 of this week's news as we take a look back at the weekend's cyclocross action. So for the women, it was 6 laps of the 2.7 kilometre course in Boom, and off to a flying start was current world champion Celine del Carmen Alvarado. And as the riders moved on to lap 2, it was Lucinda Brand, Alvarado and Denise Betsema who had, well, they'd left everybody behind. After 12 minutes of racing, they were way out in front. And it was Alvarado who was setting the pace out front. With 3 laps to go, she had a 6-second lead over Brand and a 19-second lead over Betsema. And it looked like it was Alvarado's to lose. Every now and again, just as it looked like Brand was getting dropped, she was able to fight her way back onto Alvarado's wheel and stay with her, and at some point actually passing her. Lucinda Brand was yo-yoing off the back of Alvarado for a long time. Betsema was in it pretty much secure 3rd place coming up with 2 laps to go. She was 20 seconds down on the 2 leaders. But it was on lap 5 where Brand made her attack and made her escape and put a big gap in between her and Alvarado. She would eventually go on to take the victory. 2nd place would be Alvarado, and in 3rd place, 45 seconds down, was Denise Betsema. Now over in the men's race, it was the Yorkshire Whippet Tom Pidcock who got himself off to a great start, clearly riding himself into form for his Zwift World Championships tomorrow. But he got off to a cracking start. However, well, right there then, I think he suffered a puncture, letting his mechanics know that he would be heading into the pits. And 1 minute into the race, there goes Pidcock into the pits. Quick bike change, Bosch, have it, straight back out, further down the field. But one rider you can see even further down the field, right there, Wout van Aert, off to a terrible start. He was on the 2nd row starting this race, but got to hand it to him for this one. Top bombing right here. Look at this one. Look how far he comes back. Down the inside. Bosch, have it, lads. That's mine. Coming through, sunshine. He made up a couple of spots. Eventually, Wout van Aert would find himself at the front, but he had to exert a lot of energy to get there. Pidcock never really recovered from that puncture in the first instance on the 1st lap. And moving on to the 4th lap of 9, 5 riders found themselves out front, including Wout van Aert. Iserbyt was in there, as well as, what's his face, with long name, Van Thorenhout. Is that his name? Him at the front there? I think that's his name. Could be wrong. I don't know. And Toon Arts, he was in there as well. Moving on to the last lap, Ellie Iserbyt, he was out front, just dominating. He was able to put a big time gap in between him and eventual 2nd place rider Van Thorenhout. I could be murdering that name. Apologies if I am Mr. Van Thorenhout. Thank you, Val. 3rd place was Toon Arts, and Wout van Aert, like I said, because of that huge effort that he had to make to get through the field in that 1st lap, those first couple of laps, he ended up in 4th place. Cyclocross, done. Next up in the news, and yesterday we spoke about Rod Ellingworth's departure from Bahrain McLaren, and we were guessing where he was going to go. Some people in the comments thought he might be going to Israel Startup Nation. A lot of people thought he might be heading back to Team Ineos, and well, it was announced today. We don't have to wait any longer to find out. We know where he's going. He's going back to Team Ineos. Cycling News broke this story, and Team Ineos Grenadiers said, "We can confirm the appointments of Rod Ellingworth as Director of Racing and Dan Hunt as Director of Performance. Both Rod and Dan rejoined the team to help cement a new approach to racing and build upon the foundation laid on the road at the end of 2020. Rod will be taking the lead on the racing programme, including talent identification, development and recruitment, while Dan will be focusing on the development of our performance strategies and systems." So there you go, Rod Ellingworth and Dan Hunt both returning to Ineos Grenadiers. And as you can see from that statement, we spoke about this yesterday, that in my opinion, Rod Ellingworth is the guy who needs to be identifying that talent, who can bring that talent through, who can nurture that talent and give them what they need to be the best athletes that they can be in 3, 4, 5 years' time. And I think that role within Ineos Grenadiers is going to suit him down to the ground. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens at Ineos Grenadiers next year. Like we spoke about it throughout the Tour de France, we spoke about it in the Giro, where we were expecting one thing from Team Ineos Grenadiers, which is this: let's all follow one rider, let's have one rider leading GC and just put all our eggs in that basket. And twice it happened at the Grand Tours where they were left without their favourite to take the victory. Geraint Thomas at the Giro, and then obviously Egan Bernal in the Tour de France. And I think I said at the Tour de France that Ineos are going to capitulate. They're not going to know what to do. They've put all their eggs in this one basket. They're just going to well, my idea was that they weren't going to be able to achieve anything. How wrong was I? They adapted and they changed their systems and they changed their way of racing within a Grand Tour and got huge success out of it. Yes, they didn't win it. I mean, they won the Giro with the guy that was supposed to be supporting Geraint Thomas. But at the Tour de France, they just took it to the rest of the teams. They became very, very aggressive and they rode it like they've never ridden it before. And it opened up this new way of thinking, and even Dave Brailsford came out and said it after the Giro, like a new approach to racing, and potentially with Dan Hunt and with Rod Ellingworth, we're going to see that grow even more. Or are we? But that's the interesting thing for me. When we get to, let's call it normality next year, potentially, within the racing scene, are Ineos Grenadiers going to revert back to what they know best in terms of having that train where we all sit at 350 watts for an hour until everybody else has cracked, and then we'll unleash our GC contender? Or are they going to run that more off-the-cuff, more aggressive style of racing, getting riders in breakaways, allowing riders to have a couple of days up the road like we saw? It's going to be interesting to find out, but that wasn't the point of the story. The point of the story was just that Rod Ellingworth's returned to Ineos Grenadiers. If you've got anything to say on it, leave your comments down below. And then finally in the news, tomorrow marks a huge day in the indoor sports world, in the cycling world, as it's the inaugural 2020 UCI Cycling Esports World Championships, the first ever official UCI World Championships on Zwift. So I thought I'd take a quick moment to have a small preview. I mean, we could talk, I could fill 10 minutes of a video talking about it, but we've spoke about it before. There's not a great deal to actually talk about it, but I want to go through the route, the runners and the riders, and who we think is going to stand a chance of winning this championship. Let's take a look at that route. So the World Championship route is going to take in 50 kilometres of the Watopia Figure of 8 reverse course. It's not going to finish on the promenade. It's going to finish, technically I guess you could call this the Watopia Figure of 8 reverse course forward KOM after party. So they're finishing on the original KOM, the first ever KOM on Watopia. There's 483 metres of elevation. This course will suit a rider with all-round abilities. An average gradient of 5.5% over 9 kilometres. The Watopia Hilly Queen, stroke King of the Mountain, will be a testing finish. It's a pretty fitting course for the World Championships. I mean, it would have been cool had they replicated the World Championship course. It would have been impossible because obviously the World Championship course was around Imola, and it was only given to Imola after about, well, 2 weeks prior to it actually going ahead. So if Zwift managed to replicate that, that would have been great. However, I think in the future, you know, they've replicated Richmond, they've replicated Yorkshire, they've replicated London. It'd be cool to be able to replicate a World Championship. Or do we not want to see that? Do we want to see them race on these made-up worlds, i.e. Watopia? Or would you like to see next year's World Championship course replicated in Zwift, and then the Zwifters and the esports stars tackle the same course as the row riders did, just over a less, God, imagine 7 hours of Zwifting, that'd be, and it all being racing, that'd be an absolute nightmare. But hey, what if you want to watch it on TV? Surely they're not going to televise something as silly as that. They are, you know. As you can see here from the Zwift press release, you can pretty much watch it anywhere in fact, anywhere in the world, look. So on the 9th of December, the world's best cyclists take to the start line of the inaugural UCI Cycling Esports World Championships. You can watch both the men's and the women's elite races from 1400 GMT. So if you're in Europe, you're going to be able to watch it on Eurosport. Asia Pacific, Eurosport. Belgium, you can watch it on various different channels. They love it. France, New Zealand, Norway, Spain, South Africa, USA and Canada. There's literally nowhere else in the world that you'd want to be to watch it. You can also watch it live on the Zwift YouTube channel. But who are the riders we need to keep an eye out for? Well, if we take a look at what Zwift are saying, in the women's category, they're picking out Ashley Moolman-Passio as a rider to watch, Lawrence Stevens, Kristin Kulczynski, Anna van der Breggen, standard, she's a current world champion, double world champion in individual time trial and road race. Annemiek van Vleuten, for obvious reasons. Cecilia Hansen from Sweden and Tanja Erf from Germany. Das ist gut. Over in the men's, you've got Lionel Vuisen, you've got Lionel Sanders, Tom Pitt. Nah, come on. Come on. Now, I'm not saying he ain't a good rider because he wiped the floor with me. But maybe I'm just being picky at Pidcock because he had a dig at Cam. But someone of his stature, you know, light, small, really good at cyclocross. Also in there, Bettiol, Ovet and Campenarts. I mean, with Zwift racing, literally anything could happen. Anything could happen. If we look at the British contingent, for instance, my good mate, Ed Clancy. I think we're taking bets on when Ed's going to get dropped. Now, Ed is one of the most successful British Olympians of all time. If he can get a fifth, I think, 8, 12, 16. So it would have been a foot. No, he's won more than 3, hasn't he? He won a bronze in London as well. So yeah, 5th medal. Team Pursuit, Omnium, Team Pursuit. Anyway, Ed Clancy, phenomenal athlete, right? However, I noticed last week that he entered a B race on Zwift. B races are bloody hard. If you've watched any of my streams, you will know they are bloody hard. However, a man of his stature should be in the A group, should be bossing a B group race if he's in it. He was sprinting for like 60th place. That worries me a little bit. That's probably only his like 4th race. My point being, literally anything could happen. We could be looking at riders that we don't even mention here, could be taking the victory at the World Championships. There's loads of female Zwifters out there who are absolutely animals when it comes to Zwift, but potentially don't have the same experience on the road as the likes of Annemiek van Vleuten and Anna van der Breggen to actually be there in a road race. But on Zwift, they spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours mastering that craft. They could potentially be up there. But yeah, who's going to win it? You could throw a dart at all those names and one of them could win it. Like I've said before in the past, Freddie Ovet and Lionel Vuisen are my picks for it. But again, you could be looking at someone like Lionel Sanders who can just sit there in that time trial position and just boss it. And again, depending what level they put that trainer difficulty at, could determine how that race actually rolls out. Everyone's going to be at the same, but if it's at a lower trainer difficulty than what 100% trainer difficulty would feel, then it's gonna be more of an advantage to the likes of Campenarts, as Sanders, and people like that. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen? We'll find out tomorrow, as the UCI will be crowning the first ever cycling esports world champions, both the men's and the women's. But who is your money on? Has it changed? I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Let me know down below. What do you think of the course? Who do you think is going to win? Or do you not give a monkeys about it? So there you go, another new show in the bag. Make sure if you want to be in with a chance of receiving a present from Santa that you leave your comments down below. Make sure they're positive as well. You can comment about anything on it, but just try and leave some sort of positive message within it. Or say something nice about something. Just because there's so much hate in this world at the minute. Let's spread some positivity. I know Santa would like to spread his positivity all over you. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit that dislike button if you've not enjoyed the video for whatever reason, and I'll see you tomorrow.